Okay, just picked it up from the shop, and I've got about an hour-long drive. I'm gonna stop and get some ethanol-free gasoline, and we're gonna see how it goes. I'm real excited. I'm a little anxious though to be sitting in this old 63-year-old car today. It's January 1st, 2020, and I am so excited to be driving my Belair. Woohoo! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Starting the new year off perfect. Just don't break down on me and don't let me get in a wreck. Pull over. It was a strong burning smell. Scared the hang out of me, but it was probably just a drop of oil from checking the oil before we left. It smelled like wires burning, but it was, like I said, just probably the oil. The burning smell went away and everything's still working. Had to pull over just to make sure. Speedometer, I checked it against my speedometer app on my phone. The speedometer is about 8 miles an hour off. So we're doing somewhere 63 miles an hour or so right now, and having a good time. Just being very, very careful while I'm playing with my phone, driving. I'm not looking at my phone or anything except to click record and click stop. So don't worry about me. Don't worry about everybody else around me. Appreciate that. But anyway, having a good time. These tires are probably 10, 20 years old. They're bias ply tires. I actually think they might have inner tubes inside of them. They're tubeless tires, but they might have inner tubes. But anyway, they're bouncing around a little bit. I'm sure they got some flat spots. Not too worried about it. I got my dad following behind me with the car trailer in my truck and all. So shout out for my dad. He's 72, going on 73 this year now. I really appreciate all he does for me, and he's always eager to go pick a car up with me or ride with me to go out of town to do something car related. I just want to say thanks to him. He's an awesome dad. So anyway, get ready to get off in the exit here. So I'm gonna have to turn my phone off. Yeah, back on the highway now instead of the interstate. It's a lot of fun, but I have to admit I'm a little anxious. This being the first long drive. I cannot believe I drove it on my last video. I drove it, I'd say 30 minutes. And then 30 minutes back home. And I'm telling you, this thing, it wanted to keep running on me because the points were welded shut and all kinds of stuff once I got there. I couldn't get it into gear. Then the idle went out of this world. Crazy. And then it went where it wasn't even idle. It was doing all kinds of crazy stuff on me before I got it fixed. And that was probably in September. I think it was the last car show in my area of the year. This idiot's gonna pull out in front of me. Not knowing I don't have power brakes and I don't have disc brakes. I do have brakes though. And one tire that tends to like to lock up. So beware if you pull out in front of me like a dummy. Alright, well I'm gonna get my eyes back completely on the road so I'm not distracted. I made it home. going constantly 60 miles an hour. It seems like my hearing is damaged. We'll see. I can't tell if it's idling high or that's just my ears ringing. Looks like it's still doing good. Home sweet home. Okay, that was a little over an hour trip from the mechanic shop. And shout out to Mike, you did a great job. She got me home safe and sound. No issues related to any work that you did. The tires were bouncing around a little bit, but that's to be expected as old as they are. Do a little walk around here. It's probably the longest distance she's driven, probably since the previous owner. I think he bought it in '89, if I remember correctly. I'll have to look through the records. And that's probably the longest distance since then, because he had lots of cars that he just never did anything with. If you go back and look on earlier videos back in 2017, you'll see the barn find for this car. And I brought home 7 cars, and you'll see all 7 of those cars in the videos. There's like part 1 and part 2, I believe, and it's a Hickory, North Carolina barn find. And only 2 of them weren't Chevys. One was a Mustang and one was a Jaguar, but had 2 Belairs and El Camino and a Monte Carlo as well, and a 52 Chevy Styline Deluxe. So I'm home. You see how dirty it is. It's got a lot of dust. I'm gonna do another video soon. This is gonna be a walk around, and I'll show you a little bit more about the vehicle. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys keeping up with me. One more thing. I need to name this car, and I want you guys to help me do it. I'll tell you the history of the car. It's been sitting a long time in that garage apartment deal where, you know, it was sitting in there with all them other cars. I sold all the other ones, and this is the one I kept, and I plan on keeping it forever. One of the things that was wrong with this vehicle when I got it is under the hood, a German Shepherd had, because these hinges are bad on this hood, the hood closed down when a German Shepherd jumped in there to get a rodent. And nobody was home because the German Shepherd fell through the ceiling of the garage apartment deal with the rodent, whatever kind of rodent it was. And maybe, you know, I don't know if it was a raccoon or possum, but German Shepherd went up under the hood, knocked the board out of the way, and the hood closed on him, and he couldn't get out, and he died. And so I thought about using that history in his name, but then again, I don't know. I was thinking we could not find out the dog's name, but I do know he was a German Shepherd. We could call this the Black Shepherd, maybe, or Black Shadow, or my mom came up with a name, Belle, from Southern Belle or Belair, you know, calling it Belle. But anyway, you guys chime in for me and hit that like and subscribe buttons, and tell me what you think we should name this car if it was yours. You guys have a good one. Happy New Year.